prior podcast, we heard something about a legislator and talking about how many people it takes to affect policy. Can you expand on that some?
Absolutely. So, a lot of people don't try because they figure there's no point. What does my voice matter? Or maybe they tried I don't care which side of this issue you're on. They called their legislator to tell them to vote against this abortion bill or for this abortion bill. And they heard the reports that thousands of people called and the legislator still voted, the opposite way. And they're like, see, they don't care what we say. They're going to do what they're going to do. And I will say on something like abortion, gun rights, tax policy, most of the time, they already have their minds made up. And it's going to be really, 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 really hard to move them.
Yeah.
But they have to decide. They have to vote on 1,000 different issues. All of these millions of issues that come up that they vote on that they don't have the first clue about and they don't care about and they don't know about it. So there's a couple of ways they make their decisions. What does this other legislator, who I think is an expert in this area, say? And I'm going to follow him. Mm-hmm. What does the lobbyist say who comes in, which is going to be big agribusiness or big food? Or what do my constituents say? So it doesn't take that many constituents in those situations. So one of the first times activist conferences I was at, I heard a longtime congressional aide talking, and his comment was that he has seen as few as 25 phone calls turn a congressperson's vote.
Wow.
And that's at a congressional district. I do a lot at the state level, and I have seen as few as one call turn a vote when it's a really good, powerful story. And pretty consistently, 10, 12 calls will really get their attention, get them paying attention, and not guarantee that they vote your way, but make it pretty darn likely.
That's amazing. And I remember as well when I was digging in I think it was a legislature, someone told me that when it comes to our lives as a consumer or a person in a city or whatever, what affects us is actually, it's like 20% national policy, 30 to 40% state, and then 40% local. So that if you want to have an impact on your actual life, local and state is a far better place to get involved than, calling on these huge abortion phone banks.
Well, there's a lot of truth, though. I think it also depends on which issues you're focusing on. So, who gets your roads in repair, who's in charge of your schools, that's all local, or not all, but heavily local. Mm-hmm. The food issues are difficult. And it's one of the issues that actually local is less influential than you would think on food. Because generally the locals are following just what the states and the feds do. And so if you want to make change, you really do need, there are things you can do locally, and it's a good thing to get involved locally, but the heavy moving happens state and federal when it comes to food and agriculture.
Gotcha. So state can be really impactful if it only takes 8 to 10 phone calls and has significant effect on food. It's a good place to get started.
Absolutely.